Hey everyone, I'm Josh, and I'm going to talk a little bit about filmmaking and my process and how I got started in it. Yeah, I knew really early on that this is what I loved doing. There wasn't a day that went by that I wasn't making a short cartoon with my parents' video camera or running around filming my friends. I just kind of broke right into it and started filming as soon as I could lay my hands on a video camera. The start was those early days when I was 10, 11 years old, running around the neighborhood with my parents' video camera trying to make my own little movies that were terrible. All of them were awful, so bad. But those moments, those terrible movies that you show to your friends, those are the way you learn. That's how you start and that's how you get going. And from there, I just continued to do it through high school and into college. And when I went off to college, I decided to get into animation because I knew with animation I would be able to learn editing, I would be able to learn acting, sound design, every piece of the puzzle, storytelling, everything was in an animated film. So I went to school for animation and really focused on learning all of the parts of the process. And then from there, after I graduated, I had all of the knowledge. I got a job in animation. I started directing cartoons and moved on to trying to make live action stuff and getting more into it. And as I worked for a living, I also spent money on the side. You know, when I would make some extra money, I would save up and I would buy new equipment. I would buy, new speakers, or I would buy a new camera like I'm shooting with right now, or lav mics. So those kind of things were really helpful in just slowly building up my studio and not being impatient. Patience is one of the keys to actually succeeding at filmmaking. It's never easy and it never happens fast. You have to have that patience to just continue on. It's funny how inspiration can kind of strike anywhere. I found that, one week I'm inspired by The Simpsons, and the next week I'm inspired by Invader Zim, and then the next week I'm inspired by Evil Dead 2. My inspirations come from everywhere. One of the keys to success for me has been not putting myself inside of a box, not going, this is what you're good at, stick with it. Just a few weeks ago, I actually picked up painting, and I had never painted before in my life, and I've started painting things like this, just giving it a shot and seeing. And now these paintings have inspired my next movie, Scumbag, that I'm working on. So finding things to inspire you all over the place is really important. For me, early on, it was stuff like Tim Burton movies and The Simpsons, like I said. Those were the things that really made me go, oh, I want to make stuff like this. I really want to try to make something weird and interesting and never, working inside of the boundaries of what is actually happening in modern horror or modern art, trying things that are different to let your individuality show. So when I started really thinking about what makes me an individual and what makes me different, it was, I want to go weird. I want to make this, Good Exorcist movie about a dancing, metal listening to priest who just wants to go out and save the day. A lot of that came from just, constantly doodling. I sit at an office job, or I used to sit at an office job and just sketch all day long, while I would be doing my work, sitting, typing in data or animating something. Every once in a while I would take a break and just doodle something. And those doodles really inspired the way I draw and the way my illustrations look. I think one of the big things with filmmaking and animation is that you let yourself show on screen. One of the beautiful things about this medium of art and making movies and making cartoons is that you do really get to be an individual. You get to show yourself. And I think a lot of times people get stuck in this mindset of what's popular, what are people digging on right now, and instead of being themselves and letting their own personality show through, they get stuck trying to mimic what's popular or mimic what they think could be popular next. And for me, that's never been the case. I've always just kind of wanted to make my own thing and put myself on the screen. Literally sometimes. With Greywood's plot, I'm literally on the screen acting in front of the camera. The animations as well, I want to get the things that are in my head out onto the screen. For me, one of the big things has been really trying to figure out what is in my head and how do I get it on the screen. So when you can kind of sit back and just go and really, let yourself breathe onto the page or breathe onto the screen and show yourself, that's one of the keys to finding an individual, unique voice. There's a lot of movies coming out. There's a lot of animations on YouTube, as you probably know. There's a lot of stuff out there. The only way that you're going to really succeed is by finding your own individuality in it. And that's not easy. It's one of the most difficult things to do, and you're going to spend years and years and years and years doing it, but eventually you'll find something that you have to say, and you'll find a unique voice. And I'm still trying to find mine. I think all artists are always trying to find their unique individual voice. Making a movie for reality TV, making it with no money, with no time, with all of these hurdles getting in the way, it taught me that there are going to be hurdles. It taught me that it's not easy, and you have to just keep pushing forward. It was nice because I had this TV show constantly watching me and constantly making sure that I was moving forward, and that was actually extremely motivational. But we all can find motivation in other things, and I think you kind of have to pretend like you have your own reality show following behind you and pushing you and motivating you to get something done. If you want to go make a movie, you've got to, the hardest part is just getting started. It's just going. And that was what filming The Good Exorcist with Rebel Without a Crew, with Robert Rodriguez's mentorship. Robert was amazing in that he, constantly told us, keep going, keep pushing forward, stay motivated. And having that that person behind you or that motivator behind you is really huge. So you need to find your own motivator. I need to find my own all the time. I think giving yourself restrictions and giving yourself boundaries can be extremely driving and can really push you to go accomplish something. Accomplishing something is the key. It's the process is great and talking about it is wonderful, but in the end, what you should really be striving for is to have something to show and have something to look at and go, okay, here's what I've learned from this. Every project I've done, there's been things I love about it and things I hate. And you're going to have the same thing where you're going to love certain elements, and you're going to hate other elements, and those elements that you hate, that's what you learn from. And those elements that you love, you learn from those too. And you keep trying to find ways to build on what you're learning and these concepts that are coming to you. In The Good Exorcist, I ended up using things I had around me. I had the teddy bear head, which I actually have right here. I have the teddy bear head. I have the dog mask for Greywood's plot. I have the plague masks for Scumbag. I have my monster from Chum, one of the short films I made. I have all sorts of monster props all over my basement, and I actually keep them out in my basement, my studio. My basement is my studio, and I keep them out in my studio to motivate me and inspire me. Seeing these things that I've done before and seeing these creatures that I've filmed with always makes me want to make more. It makes me want to find more monsters or find a new story to tell. Finding a way to make your studio or your bedroom or your surrounding, your office, whatever you have, wherever you study, wherever you learn, wherever you are planning to make art from, surround yourself with things that inspire you, and find things that inspire you, like a movie. Watch that, every day. As long as it inspires you, just keep watching it and keep getting motivated by it, and find what you love about it and think about it. Me and my friends sit and chat about the things we love constantly, finding a way to take those entertaining things and make them motivate you and push you forward. That's one of the keys to success as far as accomplishing art and accomplishing and making things that you want to make. If anyone has any questions or comments based on this, feel free to reach out. Joey probably has my email, so you can get my email from him, and feel free to reach out and ask any questions. I'm always down to answer filmmaking or art or animation questions. So thanks for listening to me. Bye.